Welcome guys, this is our 4.2.4.3 video. We're going to start with some key concepts from 4.2 and talk about some key concepts from 4.3 and do some examples in both. Okay, so we'll start with 4.2. Remember, everything that you see as far as take note, you still have to take note of. So this box right here, if you haven't realized, you're going to have to write this down. Anything else that we do as far as examples, you write down. Anything I add on to it, you might want to add as well, and I'll let you know. So, anyway, as we said, we're talking about proving triangles congruent. So what we want to do is find a shortcut. Before, I said in class that we're going to have to show 3 angles congruent and 3 sides. Well, we have a couple shortcuts. And our first shortcut is side angle side postulate. So side angle side postulate is a pretty cool postulate. Basically, it means if I can show 2 sides and an included angle, very important that we say included angle, then I can directly say that the 2 triangles are congruent. So without having to prove all 6 items, I only have to prove 3 things. Side, angle, side. Okay? And so this one's really key, really important for us to be able to use in our piece. So let's go ahead and look at the other theorem. And here we go. This is our other theorem. And this one's called side, side, side theorem. Okay? If I can prove all 3 sides are congruent, then I'm in the good fortune of being able to prove that the triangles are congruent. Okay, so I don't even have to talk about the angles. Okay, so this is really great stuff. If I go ahead and I'm going to flip this over, but so far we have some new methods. So our new methods is we can use side, side, side. Okay, so to prove triangles congruent, let's write this down. Please write this down with me after you wrote those last 2. So prove triangles congruent. Boom. So we have side, 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 and then we had side, angle, side. Okay, and again, the relationship of side, side, side would be boom, boom, boom. And then side, angle, side is going to be with an angle in between the 2 sides, just like that. So we can prove triangles congruent in this method. So flipping back over here, let's go ahead and take a look at 2 examples. So our first example that we're going to look at is using side, side, side. Okay, so we're on, we're looking at this piece right here of the roller coaster, and we're looking at it, and they give us some information. We want to prove the 2 triangles congruent. Okay, so again, we know certain things line up. So we know that L right here is congruent to N, so these are matching pieces. But I want to go ahead and somehow show that this triangle is congruent to this other triangle. So the first thing that I do before I even start the proof is I want to go ahead and I just want to write down what I do know. Well, I know I have 2 sides congruent, so I have 2 congruent sides. Okay, so I have 2 congruent sides. And what I can do is I can either do one of 2 proofs at this point because we only know 2. I can use side, 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 or I can use side, angle, side. So one of those 2 methods should work. Well, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, I don't know how I'd prove any of the angles congruent. I'd have to prove M and P congruent, but I don't know how I would do that. They look 90 degrees, but I don't want to assume that. But I notice that they both share LN. So what I can do is I can use a proof using that. So I'm going to actually go ahead and set up my proof right now. I'm going to use a little bit thicker lead here. And we're going to go with statement, okay, and reason. Alright, and let's go a little less thick than that. Okay, so statement 1, we're going to go ahead and that's our given. So we're going to go ahead and write this down. So everything I'm writing, make sure you write with me. And we'll just get that down. Okay, so that's given. Ooh, we shouldn't have done it over this, what is this called? A roller coaster or something like that. It's okay. We'll survive. So here we go. I think if I actually move this forward, I think we get rid of the. There it is. Okay, cool. That's what I wanted. All right, so our first statement there is given. We know that the two sides are congruent. We want to show the third side is congruent. And to do that, we can go ahead and just say, look at ln is congruent to ln. So we can just say these are congruent. So we're going to say ln is congruent to ln. So these are line segments. And the reason is reflexive. Okay. Now we've shown three sides, so I like to kind of do, and if you have a different pen, I like to show what I've proved. I've proved three sides, so side, side, side. So what is the theorem? And again, it says up here using side, 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 or maybe you can't see that, it might be off the screen. So our final statement, now that I've proven all three, I can just write triangle LMN is congruent to triangle NPL. And we know this is true by side, side, side. Okay, and I just let you write just side, side, side. So again, we're using three different methods. This one was side, side, side. Okay, and if we look back, we know that yes, we had side, side, side we just used. We did not use side, angle, side. All right, and back to our screen, and let's go ahead and look at another problem. Okay, so that was problem one. Let's look at another problem. Okay, so in this problem here, we're going to try to identify congruent triangles, and by what method. Okay, so we're going to use either side, side, side or side, angle, side. So our first one right here, we have these two triangles. Well, I like to label these. We have side, we have angle, and then we have side. Notice the order, SAS right there. So these two are going to be congruent by side, angle, side. Okay, let's look at our next one. Boom, boom, boom. They write a bunch of stuff here and kind of show you it all too. But we're going to just move on to the next piece. Boom. Okay, all right, let's take a look at this one. So we got side, angle, side here, and this one looks like we have side, side, angle. Okay, not so good. The order here is different from the order here. So the order is not the same. So these are not congruent, or we don't have enough information. So these unfortunately don't have the same pattern. We always want to make sure that we have the same pattern. So not enough info for this one. Okay, so unfortunately that one doesn't work. I'm going to go ahead and erase this. I'll just cycle it through to the next one. But it's kind of interesting how they point this out. So as you say, we start looking at it, we have three pairs of sides, and then as we continue on, it shows that the included angle is not there, so we can't use this. Okay? All right. And here's our last one. This one's a pretty clear takeaway. It is side, side, side. They all three have sides, so we know the answer to this one is side, side, side. Okay? All right. Let's move on to section 4.3. All right. 4.3, we're going to add to our postulates. We have angle, side, angle, or basically instead of having included angle, now we have an included side here, and you see the included side right here and right here. So go ahead and make sure you write that down. And this is another shortcut way that we can go ahead and prove triangles congruent. And then we also have, so make sure you pause the video, write that one down if you haven't. We also have angle, angle, side. So we have two angles and then a side. If we have this, then we can also prove triangles congruent. So let's take a look at our overall scope. We did SS and SAS last section. So this section, we actually have angle, side, angle. That would look like an angle here, and an included side. And then we're going to have, that last one was angle, angle, side. Okay. Notice the pattern of all of these are different. So here the side is not included between the two angles. So we have side, 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 side angle, side with the included angle. We have the included side and angle, side, angle, and none of these ones are included. So those are our four main types that we're going to be looking at. And these are shortcut ways to prove triangles congruent. Again, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to prove triangles congruent. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into an example. All right. Which two triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle? All right. Well, we got to make sure that the side is included. So all we have to do is locate the side and see if it's included. So we see here's the side, and here's the side. So which one has the included side? Okay. Well, it appears to me that we have this triangle here and this triangle here both have it in the same included side. Is this triangle? No. So we want to write a triangle congruency statement. So we're going to go ahead and write triangle. Now I can write these letters in any way I want. SVU is congruent to triangle. Now this is where I have to make sure I match things up. So S is going to match up with N. V is going to match up with O. And U is going to match up with E. So these are the two, and it's because they have that included angle. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our next example. So this is a proof. We're using our angle side theorem. So let's go ahead and get to it. So we have M and K are congruent, perfect. We have WM and RK are parallel. Whenever we see parallel, we should be thinking of our special angle, so this should be like a kind of a little wake-up call to us. And so we want to prove by angle side is what we're going to try and do this with. So let's see if we can figure out a way how to do this. So let's move forward and get some more information. So we got our statements and reasons, and let's always start with that given information. So we know that M and K, those two angles, are congruent. We would love to show another angle, okay? And remember, one of the keys is if parallel lines, we want to go ahead and identify the angles that have parallel. And if you look right here and right here, if my mouse will pick up, I don't know why it's not picking up, there it is. These two angles are on that parallel. These two are going to be alternate interior angles. So I can actually show that those two angles are congruent. So let's go ahead and fast forward. They went ahead and did our given. We already got that. Good. And now we can go ahead and use those parallel lines to help us with this. So they're actually going to go ahead and identify them there. See how we got them in yellow? We already kind of identified those. So we can now erase that and say, oh, yeah, we talked about those. Those are going to be helpful to identify. And we know those two angles are congruent, so we write it down. And if angles are linear, then alternate interior angles. So you guys can actually just go ahead and write AIA for that one. So I'm okay with you just writing AIA theorem for this one. Okay. All right, and our last step, we'll just do this one by hand and finish it off. But we have now this angle here is congruent to this angle here. We have angle. If I could prove this side's congruent, I'm good. And we can do that because this is one of our favorite ones. WR is congruent to WR. And we know that by reflexive. Sometimes my pen doesn't write very well, I've noticed. That's not good. Okay, so we got reflexive property. And then last but not least, what we do is when we go back, I love to always do this, make sure we finish it off strong, but look at, I showed an angle, and I showed a side. So I'm thinking angle, side would be appropriate. And if we look back at our thing here, we have angle, side, angle, then side. So I think that is what we want. So we can prove these two triangles are congruent. So I'm going to do triangle WMR is congruent to triangle RKW, and the reason is, that's step 5, not 6, is angle, side. Okay guys, that is all. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know that one was a little bit longer because we did kind of 2-in-1 sections, so a couple extra problems for us. So but we had a total of 4 different examples you should have all written down, so go back and write them down if you didn't. And we had 4 key concepts, and all those key concepts are very shorthand summarized here, but you need to make sure that you have the longhand version. So you should definitely have, just to recap with you guys real quick, is that you should have these parts all the way written out. Okay, and there's 4 of those. Alright guys, I'll see you later.